Hello, Raider Nation, and welcome to the Class of 2020 Top 15 Awards Banquet. You know, we have a saying around the office that the bottom 10% of the school takes up 90% of our time, and that's a true statement, and it's something that really is never going to change. It's the old adage, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. But awards days like this, where we can spend 100% of the time talking about the top 20% of the school, or in this case, the top 15 students of the class of 2020, makes it all worthwhile. And it's a good opportunity to be able to do that. And also not only just celebrate the top 15 students, but also celebrate the folks that have molded and influenced and mentored these students, the parents, the teachers, the coaches, anyone that has influenced these young men and women throughout the years to mold them into the young adults that they are today. And I'd also like to thank those seniors for the contributions they made this year to our school culture and our school climate. And a lot of the steps that they made from being freshmen and growth they made from freshmen all the way up to the senior year has been tremendous. And I do appreciate their leadership, their communication, their attention to detail, their willingness to take charge and do the things they did. It really made it a special year, despite the COVID-19 and the school closure and the missing of many different school events. It was a exciting year and a fun year. And to be honest with you, the 15 students that we're going to honor today are a big part of that, a huge part of that. I know it's a group effort, but these are the leaders of our school and the ones that have done probably the most, if not all of it, to help us have a good year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and meet these top 15 students.
Hello, and welcome to the second Wapahani High School Top 15 Banquet for the class of 2020. I want to take a minute to thank Pastor Jim Ballinger for hosting this banquet for us each year. Harris Chapel provides a wonderful dinner and decorates their facility for us and helps us create a special event. Unfortunately, obviously, we can't all be together for this year's banquet as we had planned, but we're going to make the most of this situation and still honor our top 15 students as well as their chosen honoree. Besides being seen online tonight, this will be a little bit different than other banquets that you've attended. Typically, a banquet through the school is built around the students as we celebrate the great things that they have accomplished. Though we love to celebrate our students, tonight we're going to shift the focus a bit from the students to the adults that have crossed their paths. The adults don't have to say a word, the students will be doing all the talking. I have been an educator for 26 years, and in that time I found that many times you know that you're making a difference, but many times you don't get told what you mean to students. Hearing directly from students means so much, and it goes straight to the heart. So tonight, we want to honor our educators and share what you all have meant to these students. The order of presenters are in random order, and with that being said, our first student to honor tonight and his chosen educator will be Josh Herbst.
Hi, I'm Josh Herbst, and the person I chose to honor is Brian Ramage. And I chose him for a couple of reasons. First of all, he was my basketball coach from 2nd through 5th grade, and he was responsible for a lot of great memories with some of my best friends and teammates. Basketball was the first sport I really took seriously, and he had a lot to do with that. Through his coaching, I realized my love for sports and my desire to do well. This drive helped me throughout high school, not only in the athletic field, but also academically. Second of all, he's always been a great person to talk to. Just about every time I see him in the hallway, I end up late to my next class, but it's usually worth it. He always shows a genuine interest in what's going on in my life. The third and final reason I chose Mr. Roush is because of what a great superintendent he's been. Throughout all my years, he's shown that he wants to improve the lives of everyone in the school. He's someone who truly cares for the community and does everything in his power to change it for the better. And that's been even more obvious in the past few weeks. Lastly, I just want to thank you for all that you've done for the senior class so far. It obviously isn't going how any of us want right now, but I'm thankful that you have taken time to talk to us and figure out the best approach for the last part of our high school careers.
Well, thank you, Josh. You've been a joy to have in school, and even when you were a cute little kid, we had a lot of fun. So thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
I'm Skylar Workman, and I chose to honor Mrs. Barnard. I chose to honor Mrs. Barnard because she is one of the most influential people I've ever had in my life. She inspired me to take an interest in politics and encouraged me to follow my dreams, whatever that may be. Her classroom was always a non-judgmental space, and she always made everyone feel like she cared about what each person was saying. Her class introduced me to the social issues I'm now passionate about, and it also introduced me to the greatest person to ever live, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. To Mrs. Barnard, thank you for being the best 8th grade social studies teacher and an amazing and kind person, and thank you for always supporting me.
Well, thank you, Skylar. I really, really appreciate that, because that is exactly the kind of classroom that I always wanted to have. So to hear you say that to me, that makes me feel really good, and I appreciate it. And I just want to tell you good luck with whatever it is. I know you're going to go on to All-State, and I know you're going to do great things, and just good luck to you and to the class of 2020.
Hi, I'm Braxton Davis, and I'm here with Mr. Lunsford. He is my 5th grade teacher and basketball coach, and I chose him as my favorite teacher throughout my school years because although it may not have seemed like a big deal to Mr. Lunsford, all the things he did for me in 5th grade gave me a greater appreciation for sports and schoolwork. His positive mindset and willingness to have fun, whether he was teaching or coaching, had a big impact on me. It urged me to work harder and try my best at everything I do.
I appreciate that, Braxton. When I found out a few weeks ago that you had chosen me for this, I definitely was just kind of blown away by it, because I know you're a great kid, and I know that you've had a lot of great teachers throughout the years at Cowan and now at Wapahani, and so I really appreciate you thinking of me and remembering me, and given that crazy math teacher who gave you tons of homework back in the day, just recognizing just the good times that we had in class together, and on the basketball court. You're a great kid. I know that the success that you've had so far in your life, I'm not surprised by it. You're a hard worker back in 5th grade and a hard worker on the basketball court. And so just I'm excited to watch you, grow throughout the years, and being able to come to Wapahani, seeing you as an athlete, going to a few basketball games. Just really proud of you for your success on the court and off the court, and just wish you nothing but the best moving forward.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Hi, my name is Ben Brannon, and I'm here with Chris Holdren. And if I had to choose a favorite teacher throughout my school years, it would have to be her. She's my 5th grade teacher, and she was the most loving and caring teacher anyone could ever have. She would always push me to try my hardest, and she would always help me if I needed help. The most fun days with her were when we had parties for the holidays, or we would watch movies in class. She would let us use our special tickets to buy candy from the shop to eat during the movie, and that was just so fun. I think my favorite memory out of all of them would be when she would play the Good Morning song almost every morning. She would be dancing to it and singing along, and that'd be so funny to us kids. Although I was ready to be out of elementary school and move on to middle school, she made me want to stay in elementary school. Thank you, Mrs. Holdren.
Thank you, Ben. So kind.
Hey, I'm Olivia McCauley, and I would like to honor Mr. Reese. And I just wanted to let him know how much I appreciate him as a teacher and how much he's helped me grow as a student at Wapahani. Whenever I needed to talk to someone, you were always there to give me the best advice, and you always knew what to say. Walking into your classroom always put me at ease in the midst of a busy day, and you really helped motivate me to get things done. You were always someone I could depend on when I needed help with any life situation. Thank you, Mr. Reeves.
Well, thank you, Olivia. Thanks for coming into my classroom all those times and making all that cool stuff in there. I will get it back to you at some point. It's all safe, I promise.
Okay.
But thank you so much for choosing me for this honor.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say thank you for dealing with me for the past 4 years. You've been my coach in cross country, basketball, and track, and despite spending way too much time being around each other in these 3 sports, you still managed to make all 3 fun and memorable. In cross country, you pushed me to better myself as a runner every single day. As much as I hate to admit it, you were right about a lot of things when it came to running. The most important thing you taught me about cross country was that it wasn't all about the success. While winning races and running record times was a blast, you reminded me every day that the best part was truly about the friendships and memories that I would make with my teammates. I couldn't imagine my high school year without the presence of my teammates. You always pushed me to branch out and make new friends, which I hated at the time, but now I'm so grateful for someone who pushed me out of my comfort zone. In basketball, it wasn't always about your coaching moments that made basketball season memorable, but it was the moments where you reminded me that I would always have a friend in you. My favorite story from basketball season was a time where you made me mad and I sprayed my water bottle in your face. This definitely was not my finest moment, but you made me really mad. After the game, you dumped your whole ice-cold, freezing water in your water bottle on my head, and I had to sit on the cold bus with wet hair. Even if it meant dumping a whole water bottle on my head, you've always known how to cheer me up. You've been a great coach, but you've always been an even better friend to me and my family. You've taught me valuable life lessons as a coach and as a friend. And of course, there's track season to reflect upon. Although this track season was probably going to be another successful year, I can't help but be thankful for the past 3 track seasons. So since I never got the chance to officially say thank you for everything, here's my thank you. Thank you for being one of the best coaches I've ever had. Thank you for pushing me to become a good athlete. Thank you for always believing in me. And most importantly, thank you for being such an amazing coach by making my sports seasons so memorable for the past 4 years. I can never say thank you enough for the influence that you've had on me and my family. I will always be grateful for the impact that you've had on my life as a teacher, a friend, and a coach.
Well, thank you. That was really sweet. If I could send you a virtual hug, I would.
Hi, I'm Jackson Buck, and this is Rebecca Ireland, my Spanish teacher whom I'm choosing to recognize today. Rebecca, you've played a huge role in my life in and out of school. I've gotten to grow up. Our families have grown up I have grown up with your family, and our families have been very close. So I've gotten to get pretty close to your kids and also developed a great friendship with you. And so I'd say friendship's a good way to put it, but I also think that second mom is probably a more fitting term there. And so the first thing that comes to mind when I think of our relationship is guidance. You've stayed up late and talked to Rick and me and given us guidance in lots of situations with school and life. And you've helped guide me through so many Spanish labs and kids in my career. Also, in school, you made me a lot less nervous about my transition to high school because I knew I would have a relationship with one of the teachers, so that really helped me out a lot. Also, you've helped me on assignments, even if they weren't Spanish related, and have always just been someone I could ask for help from, whether it had to do with school or not. You've cared about me succeeding in and out of the classroom, and I appreciate it so much. Even simple things like you just asking about my college career or what I was thinking at the time. I really appreciate the simple things like that. And so thank you for asking, and thank you for that. You've given me great advice while we have discussed school and the future, and you've almost always been in full support of my decisions, unless Rick and I wanted to shoot fireworks from the yard at the old house. As I travel on in life to college, I know your family will always be one I can count on, and you'll always be someone I can reach out to. So thank you for your continued guidance, advice, and support. Thank you for all your help in school, but also thank you for taking me to get nachos when I was younger, protecting me from Trixie, making food for me, and being so welcoming every time I came over. Thank you for being generous with your amazing cookies, supporting Rick and I's crazy adventures. One that comes to mind is when we were younger, we had I think it was over winter break, and I stayed at your house for a week straight. That was really fun. Thank you for taking us to get drinks from the village pantry, and for last day of school Sky Zone trips. I'll never forget these things. I seriously can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me, and I know I've left out countless experiences. However, by far the most important thing to me about all of this is that you have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Jackson. Every time I talk to somebody and we're talking about you, I'm like, he's the nicest boy in the whole school. And every single person agrees with me. You are a special kid. This means so much to me, and I can't wait to see what you do with your life, because you will change the world.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackson.
I'm Haley Morvillius, and I am honoring Mrs. Chris Holdren. Mrs. Holdren has always been a role model for me since I had her as a teacher in the 5th grade. She is one of the most selfless people I've ever met in my entire life, and she always knows how to put a smile on someone's face. I always loved walking into her classroom every day, excited to see what we were going to learn. Mrs. Holdren always had fun lesson plans and always made school a lot more fun. I specifically remember every Friday she would play the song Good Morning, and it really brightened my day. I always looked forward to Fridays, not simply because of the weekend, but I like to see everyone's faces light up when they heard the song playing. Some people may have acted like they did not enjoy that song, but it made it so hard not to smile. The song really represents the type of person Mrs. Holdren is. Mrs. Holdren always knows how to brighten someone's day no matter what. She never got angry with kids. She was always slow to anger, and I knew it was probably hard to do considering we were a handful. I have so much respect for her, and I hope that when I become a teacher, I can have some of her wonderful qualities. Not only is she a great educator, but she also has the kindest heart. She gives so much back to others, for example, Secret Families. That is an event that has grown so much over our entire community and helped so many people. She is one of those people that started Secret Families and helped spread so much throughout this huge event. The charitable acts that she does touches so many more than she knows. She is truly one of the best people I've ever met and inspires me to do so much more. One of the best things is she doesn't do it because she wants people to know how good of a person she is, but because God gave her the ability to give back, so she sees the opportunity. She does all of these things without wanting anything in return. I believe she deserves to be recognized as so much more. She's one of the many reasons I am majoring in elementary education, and I want to make a huge impact on kids like she has for me. I hope that someday I can touch as many people as she has, not only through education, but just by being a wonderfully kind person. Thank you for taking time out of your day to speak to me.
Thank you, Haley. Man, I don't know if I could do that without saying crying, but thank you. What a sweet honor. I appreciate your words so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for allowing me to talk to you.
Such a sweet honor.
I chose Mr. Howell to be my representative for the Top 15 Banquet because of how prominent a role he has served in my academic success within the past 2 years of high school. He has continuously pushed me to perform at my best in the classroom, and he is the reason that I was able to pass my AP United States History exam last year, and he is the reason that I will hopefully pass my AP Government and Politics exam this year. Before Mr. Howell's classes, I was never truly interested in American history or how our government operated. Now that Mr. Howell has taught me about these topics, usually using jokes and humor that actually made me excited to go to class every day, I am always eager to learn new things about our nation's history and how American politics operate. I think my favorite moments in his class were when we would ask him a question that wasn't even relevant to the topic at hand, like what his favorite restaurant was, and he would use the rest of the class period to answer that one question. However, even though I often annoy Mr. Howell, whether it was by frequently calling him by his first name or roasting him in class about the irrelevant stories he often told, he never ridiculed me or roasted me back. But perhaps most importantly, he never once complained whenever I asked him to put my lunch in his fridge while he was teaching a class. So thank you for letting me put my lunch in your fridge, even when there was little or no room left in it. Thank you for making jokes and actually showing me that learning could be fun. Thank you for getting me interested in history and politics. Thank you for helping me pass the A-push test. Thank you for telling all those stories that took up the entirety of the class period. Thank you for sometimes letting us take group quizzes because literally none of us were confident in passing it alone. Thank you for frequently showing me that one video that recreated the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, because we always laughed when Princip went to grab a sandwich after his failed assassination attempt, and when that one guy tried to commit suicide with old cyanide and jumped in a pond that was 2 feet deep to try and drown himself. And thank you for teaching me that there are in fact dumb questions. Thank you, Mr. Howell.
Thank you.
I just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for making me realize what I had right in front of me. You opened my eyes to what I had inside of me and showed me that if I worked hard enough, I can get to where I want to be. You allowed me to find a love in a sport that could take me places I never expected to go and give me something to strive towards. I've never felt like that towards a sport ever in my life until this past year. It felt like more than a sport, and it's an indescribable feeling. It meant so much more to me than anything I've ever done. You constantly pushed me to become a better player and person, and I found endurance I never knew I had. Every day I wanted success more and more. I only had you as a coach 1 year, and you impacted my life more than I can put into words. You are an amazing coach and person. Seeing everything you've been through to get to where you are today proves that hard work pays off. And when you were coaching me, I have the utmost respect. Every day coming into practice, you talked about what it took to be a championship team, and I thought about that day in and day out, on and off the court. You made me push myself harder than I ever have and allowed me to create a voice and become a leader. I never knew how much confidence would better me as a player and person, because most of my coaches in the past have instilled a good amount of confidence in me, but the way you trusted me on the court allowed me to truly believe in myself more than ever. The way you helped me create a future for myself in volleyball is something I will forever be grateful for, and I know you will become an even better coach as the years go on, and I'm so grateful I got to have you my senior year because it truly made it the best. Any player is lucky to have you as their coach, and I know you will impact so many more players' lives just like mine.
Liv! Oh my God. You're such a good writer, but you don't know what that means to me as a coach, because that's the reason I got into it in the first place. And to be able to coach a kid like you, I mean, you are hands down the example of why I wanted to do this. And I'm just so proud of you. And you've had it in you, and you listened to every word that we said, just not only me, but the staff. And that is such a rare thing to find in someone. I mean, I've played with tons of players. I've coached tons of people, and you're the dream player to have. And I know at first it was iffy, and it's just to see your growth. You're going to be such a great college player, and I can't wait to see where that goes for you. And not only that, you're going to be great at whatever you do, because you have that desire to be excellent. And that's just like, people don't understand how rare that is. So I'm so proud of you, and thank you for all of that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
When you think of a coach, you think of a person that pushes you to do your best and teaches you to become a better player. Whenever I think of a coach, I think of one individual person, and his name is Jay Thompson. I don't know the exact moment Jay became a huge factor in my life, but I do know I would not be the person I am today without him. I truly believe God put Jay in my life to make my worst days a little brighter and my good days a little better. No matter the situation, Jay is always there for advice and a laugh when you need it the most. Over the past years, Jay and the rest of the Thompsons have become family to me. I could go on and on about how good of a person Jay Thompson is, but I can bet if you know him, you know this little speech doesn't do justice to the man he is. The way you've connected with your players is what makes you the best coach. I am beyond blessed to have you in my life and can't wait to make you proud. Jay Thompson, you are my motivator, and nothing I can ever say or do can repay you for everything you've done for me. So all I can do is simply say thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, Lexi.
I chose Mrs. Pauls because she has been much more than just an educator to me. Not only is she extremely patient and kind when it comes to academics, but she also makes for certain that the health and well-being of her students always comes first. I have had many very long, hard conversations with Mrs. Pauls about everything under the sun. Books, movies, boyfriends, family troubles, mental health, and more. Not to mention my run-in with the cops, who also happened to be her husband, but that's a story for another. A teacher that not only recognizes the difference in her students, but brings them to life and celebrates them. I've never met another teacher who understands my crazy, messed up brain more than she does. She inspires me more and more every day and constantly reminds me that there's always good in this world. She's not just another educator, she's much, much more. She has made a lasting impact on me that I will never forget, and I am honored to not only call her my teacher, but my friend.
Oh, thank you. It's so weird to be online because I want to hug you now, and I can't. Thank you, Pam. I have enjoyed having you in class so much, and I feel so blessed that I've gotten to do that 2 times and then still got to see you around, and I'm just very thankful.
Name is Kaylee Fender, and I've had a lot of influential teachers in my life, but today I'm choosing to honor Mr. Winters as my most influential teacher. Mr. Winters teaches both regular and honors biology, earth and space, and AP environmental science. Ever since freshman year, Mr. Winters has taught and motivated me to be the best student I could be. His honors biology class inspired me to pursue something science related, and it opened up my mind to new ways of learning and exploring. Not only was Mr. Winters my science teacher, but he was also my academic team coach. He pushed my teammates and I to great extents in order to make us excelling students, and he never failed to support us or come up with some corny joke. And to Mr. Winters, I'm very sad that we couldn't finish our season. We were going to be great, but all good things come to an end. Thank you for being such a great teacher, role model, and jokester. Thank you for always picking on my last name. Fender Bender will always ring a bell. I will never forget the 17-page rewrites you made us do. Those were definitely my most dreadful assignment. But honestly, I would give the world just to go back to that time. I also remember how every day I would anxiously check my GPA in your class, hoping that one day I could be top of the class, and here we are. So thank you for everything. You deserve a lot more appreciation. P.S. JC and I will come back to visit you, and we will pick on you. Thank you for everything. We will miss you, Fetty. Even though you made us feel like dummies sometimes, we still appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate all those nice, kind words.
Definitely.
Yes. Well, that's awesome. So you're planning on going to Ball State?
Mm-hmm. Pre-dental.
Pre-dental. Ooh, that's a nice career.
Yeah.
It's a good career. Good. So you're going to be in
Definitely.
school for a while then.
Yeah, 7 years at least.
7 years. Woo! It's a long ride.
Yeah.
So
hopefully I get to go to school though.
That's right. You gotta put your time in. You want a good career. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll email you from time to time to see how you're doing, and I hope you get some kind of graduation ceremony.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
It would.
But it doesn't really matter. That's small potatoes. The thing is, you made it. You did a great job while you were here.
Right.
And you've got a good future ahead of you. So that's the important stuff.
Next, we have Logan Hale. Logan had some technical issues, so I'm going to read what Logan wanted to say about Mrs. Thompson. Logan says, Mrs. Thompson has just been incredibly helpful throughout my high school career. Not only is she a very good teacher, but she is incredibly caring and kind. My junior year was an absolute mess for me, and she definitely helped me to get back on my feet. Normally, it would be pretty difficult to catch up on months' worth of missed work, but somehow she made it manageable for me. Her patience is unreal, and somehow she motivated me to keep going even when I had no desire to do so.
Thank you, Logan.
Jenna, thank you for everything you've done for me. Over the past 7 years, I've always seen you as someone that I could count on and talk to anytime I needed to vent. There are countless memories that come to my mind when I think of my time with you and with WAP B-Ball. The heated riff-offs that always ended in an argument when we had to run 20 stair laps for singing a dirty song on the bus, the scavenger hunts and Kings Island trips, and the surprise baby showers and gender reveals. Also, the time that you gave me and Annie an envelope and told us to open it on Christmas, which is how you told us that you were going to have a baby girl, Sadie Grace. And being part of this team, you taught me that sometimes a game isn't always about a win or a loss. It's about the team that you win and lose with. It's about being a family. I realized the severity of being close with your teammates, as you are with your sister, when I realized that I wasn't going to play with mine any longer. It was that last Newcastle game in 2017 that was by far the hardest loss that I've had in any sport that I've played. It wasn't the fact that we lost the game, but the fact that we were losing a group of girls that I had grown up with. No matter how sad I was, you were always there to talk me down and tell me that my sister wasn't going anywhere. She was just going to have to live somewhere else. Whether you were laughing with us, screaming at us till your face got red, or crying with us, I am here to tell you that you have made an impact on every girl that you have coached. I was excited to spend one last season with you as one of my coaches, but for softball this time. But I guess everything happens for a reason. Thank you for loving me and playing such an important role in my life.
You made me cry. You did so good. I'm so proud of you. Oh, thank you, dear. That was wonderful. And yes, I agree. Softball ending was the worst thing ever because that's one of the reasons I agreed to coach is so I could have a senior season with you. So that stunk, but I will always be here for both of you, you and Anne. I love you both. Love you, love you.
Students, educators, families, thank you all so much for celebrating our students and those that have made an impact on these young people. To the class of 2020, I wish you all well and thank you so much for being so great to work with. I wish you all good health and thank you all for making a difference.